Hello, welcome to All the Photos Today, and today we are going to be editing this nature photo of some grass that I took while I was on a nature hike. And this is a pretty basic photo, nothing too hard about it, so we shouldn't have any problems editing it. But I'll just show you how I edit this. So first we go to the Develop module, and again, if you don't notice, we are in Adobe Lightroom. This is a raw file, ISO 100, 56 millimeters, f8, and 0.5 seconds for the shutter speed, and it's shot on the Nikon D7000. First, we're going to go to the exposure. That's usually my go-to thing to do first, and this was, in my opinion, clearly underexposed. So I definitely want to fix that, and just bringing up the exposure. Since this is a raw file, we can easily do it. It's one of the many advantages of shooting raw, but I assume you already know that. So just play with the exposure. So now we have the option, do we want the darker look or the lighter look? I'm going to go put it a little bit lighter because I know I want to add some contrast to it. And there's the contrast, and we can see that just it makes everything pop. That's what the contrast does. For color, we don't need too much contrast, but I definitely like adding some. It makes everything pop. And play with the highlights. For highlights, I usually just go by how it looks. I do the same thing with the shadows. Usually, for this photo, we don't need to do much. Now it's the option, do we want the dark shadows or do we want the lighter shadows? I'm tending to lean more towards the light, again, kind of in the middle, because I like having some shadows, but I don't want them too dark because I think that doesn't give an appealing look. Now for the whites, I'm going to hold down the Alt Option button. Okay, and we're just going to pull it till we see it, and you can see it in the blue peeking through in just a little bit. We don't need a ton. Same thing with blacks, hold down Alt, and just a little bit, and we'll have a little bit more black, and that's okay. And that just makes sure we have some good whites, some good blacks. Add just a bit of clarity, don't want to overdo it. Again, same thing with the vibrance. For this I really want to make those colors pop. I think that's a little bit too much. I think the yellows are popping a little bit too much. And same with saturation, just a little bit. And I don't know, it's on the edge of over vibrance, over saturated, but it's not too bad in my opinion. Again, if you want more of a realistic look, of course you would not push it. The clarity's bothering me. See, when you mess with these three, the clarity, vibrance, and saturation, I mean, it's really easy to overdo it. So yeah, then here again, this is more to affect the contrast. So highlights, play with those. I really don't have to do too much for this photo. It's kind of a basic photo in color, because I mean, really the major thing was exposure, and now it's just like, how can we tweak it to make it better? And here I'm gonna choose the yellow. See if we can bring that down a bit. And there, I like that a lot more compared to before. After, I definitely prefer taking down that yellow. I thought that the yellow popping through was a little bit distraction, and again with the green, I want to make that pop just a little bit more, so pull that through. And I see some hints of blue, and I kind of want to make those pop just a little bit, and kind of does it. Awesome. Then sharpening, I like to add more sharpening because again, raw files, they don't add any sharpening, so around the 60s or 70s I usually like to add, depending on the subject matter. Luminance, again, shot at ISO 100, so not needed. Yeah, now I'm going to go to white balance, because I think I want to add, I think it's a little too warm for this photo. I want to make it a little cooler, because I kind of want to show like, oh, it just rained, yada yada yada. And put a little bit of green in. Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely liking the cooler look compared to the warm look. And maybe we'll play with the vibrance a little bit more. Now it's looking a little too blue. See, the big thing with all this Lightroom, it's all tweaking to get it perfect. Of course, when it's compressed into YouTube video, it will look different. And this photo, again, you don't need to spend a ton of time for a photo like this, because this is just a basic photo. It's just of some grass. It's nothing too spectacular. But if I'm telling a photo story about the nature hike, this is definitely a photo I might want to show how it rained, and it's a cool little snapshot. And so I'm just going to make a virtual copy, and I'm going to try a black and white. So I'm just going to magic trick, just hit black and white. And of course, for black and whites, I love bumping up the contrast, and that's what we're doing, brightening it up. Awesome. Highlights, I don't know. Shadows, pull those down, because I want to show that detail. And here I really want that contrast. Again, with the whites, we already did that, so we don't need to mess it. Clarity, no, I do not like that. Double click to hit it to 0, and just a little bit. That's too much. +7, that should be good. Good. Here for the linear, let's hit it to medium. Strong. Nope, don't like either of those, so we'll do it all manually. Boost the highlights, lights, darks, that's what we want. Shadows, bump them up a little bit. Okay, now I'm starting to really like this. Here, gonna play with the greens a little bit. Here, let's see what auto does. And let's just play with the green a little bit there. I prefer that look over the auto. It's not a major change, but again, most of the changes that you're going to be making are going to be minor, but it's all about making the photo your own and how you like it. Again, you might not like this kind of look, but I am a big fan of these high contrast, and that's all I'm going to do. And I think, again, the black and white gives a different look. Maybe this is too much contrast because I think the black, so we'll pull it down a little bit. And yeah, I'm enjoying this look for the photo. Again, this isn't one of my favorite photos, but I think it's a cool photo for a photo story of this nature hike. Definitely like a filler image, but it's still kind of an interesting photo because we can see the rain and it has some pattern. It's really a pattern. So now here's the color. Oh wow, going back and forth, that is way too green. Way too. See, that's one of the things I'll notice. You don't notice those things right away, but when you're editing your photos, when you go editing another photo or do that in a different style, and then come back, you realize, hey, maybe I overdid it. So yeah, definitely. So here we have two solid images. Here I'll go to the library so we can view them. One black and white, one in color. And this video pretty much just shows you how I edit a photo. Yeah, and then, what am I doing here? Okay, there we go. Here we got two photos, or same photo but two different looks. One in black and white, one color. I'm kind of digging the black and white. Again, not a spectacular photo, but just showing you how I edit this photo and how you can use photos of that are kind of a pattern, how you can edit them to make them part of a photo story. So tell me what you think in the comments, and check out other photos, or not photos, videos from all the photos today. Thank you, subscribe.